cyclic pattern of the universe. The world drama wheel consists of golden, silver, copper, and iron ages, and each age is of 1250 years duration. The first half cycle is 2500 years, which consists of the golden and silver ages, known as heaven on earth. In this period of 2500 years, souls and nature are in their highest, purest form of original qualities with full of happiness. There was the existence of the deity dynasty religion on the Indian continent only. From the Copper Age, there was establishment of different religions and formation of different continents on the earth. At the start of this age, souls and nature had started to lose their original qualities. The present period is known as Diamond or Confluence Age, which is the ending of the Iron Age and start of the Golden Age. It is the transition period of less duration in which God, Shiva, manifests himself with his human corporeal medium, Prajapita Brahma, Adam. In the Diamond Age, the transformation of the world from Iron to Golden Age is under process by God Shiva at Mount Abu, Rajasthan, India. And now this age is also coming to an end within a very short period. The history and geography of the universe repeats dramatically after each 5,000-year period, and it is known as cosmic time cycle according to old civilizations. If we join the present universe known to science and the outer cosmic world, then it will form a complete cycle, closed loop, and it will be clear that each and every process in the universe is cyclic. The examples of different cycles present in the universe are water cycle, nature cycle, rock cycle, carbon cycle, food cycle, nitrogen cycle, season cycle, solar system cycle, day and night cycle, the cyclic rotation of the Earth's core. AC and DC electrical power flows in a closed loop as a cycle, and light also travels in a cyclic motion. Hence, time is also cyclic in nature and not linear, as the universe is cyclic in nature. The universe consists of God, souls, and the five elements, and all are at different levels of energies. As the universe consists of energy, then according to the first law of thermodynamics, the universe can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. There are certain theories about evolution of species and the universe, but there are many flaws in these theories because they are not following the first law of thermodynamics. Till today, no one has challenged the laws of thermodynamics, as these are universally accepted laws. Let us see what the limitations of evolution of species and the universe are. 1. Darwin's theory of evolution. There are many facts which prove that Darwin's theory of evolution is completely wrong. There is 98% difference in the DNA of monkey or gorilla and that of human beings. It means that human beings have not evolved from apes. Otherwise, no ape should remain on the earth, and all might have been converted into human beings. Second, mathematical explanation about the theory is not given. Third, there is no information about the genes that can prove this theory. Fourth, in the last days of his life, Darwin has agreed that, as per records, it is not found that any species is converted into other, and it could not prove that one species can be converted into other. Reference My Life and Letters, Volume 1, page 210. 2. Big Bang Theory. Limitations of Big Bang Theory. 1. Element abundance prediction is not found true. 2. The universe has too much large-scale structure, hence cannot be formed within a short period as mentioned in Big Bang. 3. The local streaming motions of galaxies could not be explained by this theory. 4. Issue of 96% invisible dark matter could not be explained by this theory. 5. The universe flatness and monopole problems could not be explained by this theory. Age of the universe. The age of the universe is considered in lakhs or crores of years, and it is mainly decided by the carbon dating method, but it has many limitations. The limitations of the carbon dating method. 1. There is a variation in decay of the sample in the past, hence getting inaccurate results. 2. There is a major possibility of the presence of daughter products in the sample, hence results will be inaccurate. 3. Improper results obtained because of changes in the environment in the past. 4. There is a greater impact of ultra-high energy particles, radioactive minerals and chemicals on the sample. 5. In this method, it is assumed that the end product is lead, but there is an existence of uranium and thorium also. 6. There is a mistake in the lead ratio, hence improper results would be obtained. 7. There is variation in carbon decay rate because of changes in the Earth's electromagnetic field in the Van Allen belt. 8. There are different ages of the same sample when tested with uranium, thorium, and carbon dating methods. 9. This method was found to be inaccurate in many experiments across the world. The scientific evidences of 5,000 years period of cosmic cycle are: 1. The full life cycle of the Earth's magnetic field is 5,000 years. 2. Lead to uranium conversion takes place in about 5,000 years. 3. The universal flood had occurred about 5,000 years ago. 4. According to fossil radioactivity, the geological age of the Earth is only thousands of years. Ultimately, it is concluded that the age of the universe is not lakhs or crores of years. Instead, it is only a 5,000-year cycle in which the world's history and geography repeats dramatically. Whenever there is decay of righteousness and moral values of human beings and imperfection in matter, then there will be transformation of the universe at the end of the cosmic cycle.
wish from my journey, cross an ocean of blue. Take just a minute, come and rest by my side. Let me tell you your own story. Let me walk you through your lives. Only a second, that's all it takes to realize there's 100,000 angels by your side. There's 100,000 angels here
Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone. Today is the 7th day of our Rajyoga classes. We have been talking about self, about God, about karma that we understood yesterday. And there is a very important aspect which is very much associated with the subject of karma and associated with the questions in our mind. Whenever we talk about karma, we have these kind of questions arising in our mind, in our intellect, that according to my present karma, we understood that how I'm going to bear the fruit of my present karma in future. So sometimes we want a more specific answer for that. And there are very, very specific answers in this spiritual study, in this spiritual knowledge that we are going to understand. Today, when we are going to talk about the cycle of time, and before understanding the whole unlimited view about the cycle of time or the cyclic nature of time, before we understand that, let us first understand the cycle of life at a personal level or individual level, how it relates with the soul. Relating with the karma, we have understood that if I have done something, I will receive the fruit of that, whether it is positive or negative, I'm going to get the result. And that is something which I can't avoid. So we have understood in a very general way. Now the question is that if something is not settled in this life, it interprets that, yes, I have to take another life, another birth. So here comes the question about reincarnation or rebirth, which is sometimes a little bit contradictory in different philosophies or different schools of so-called spiritual knowledge or religious concepts. But let us understand first this concept of rebirth, and then we'll move forward to understanding the unlimited cycle of time. So first question is, if we are talking about rebirth, if we say that yes, to settle the karma, or relating with our understanding of soul being eternal, we take rebirth. The soul is coming into this process of rebirth or reincarnation. So first question can be understood with these three ideas or the logics. First is eternity. The soul is eternal. Soul is energy. It's never destroyed. We have understood the eternity and immortality of the soul. It never dies. So of course, when it will leave one body, it has to go somewhere. Second is karma accountability. If I have done something, every karma, every action, what I do is accountable. That we have understood yesterday. So for that, if something is left which is not settled, to settle that, I have to come into next life to get the result of that. And the third is that we all are actors in this drama. So when we say we all are actors, we are actors, the soul is an actor, we all are in different costumes of the body. Body is just a costume. So one life is like playing my one particular role in this costume. So we've understood that. So after I leave this body that we name as death of someone, it's like leaving one costume. It doesn't mean that the role is over. Only one role is over, but I still exist. So I can take another costume to play a different role. So actually, same soul, the actor, can play various different roles because soul is imperishable, immortal, and eternal. So when we talk about the human souls, let us just talk about the human souls first. And we are thinking of rebirth or reincarnation, how it happens. Soul has no gender, it's beyond any gender, any nationality, religion, or social status. It's beyond any kinds of labels that we acquire from this world. So, when soul leaves one body and goes to the next life, it can take the form of any gender, any nationality. It can go to take birth in any country, in wherever, whichever corner of the world, religion, or any background. So, because soul itself is beyond all this, all these labels are associated with the body. Where I have taken birth, it is associated with that. Suppose now, today, I'm here in India. If I leave body, means I, the soul, I leave body. How far I can go to take a new birth? It can go anywhere, but it depends on the karma and on the connections that I create in this life. And according to those connections, suppose I have something some karma connection with one family, very deep and very serious karma connection with one family in this life. And that family moved to UK. Now, if I leave body, I, the soul, maybe in this life I couldn't go to UK to settle that. I have to take something from them, which I have given to them, and they just so far away. I can't go there. But when I leave the body, the soul leaves the body, it takes only a second to reach there. So what will happen? The soul will go and take a birth somewhere near to them, or maybe in the same family. Depends on how deep and how close is that karma connection, how serious is that. So according to that, there will be a new relation developed in the next birth to settle that part of karma which was unsettled because of various different reasons. This is how it happens. That's why the concept of reincarnation is very useful and very important to understand. Now, another question comes that if I have to settle, so to settle my karma, what will I become in the next life? Then there is a question in the mind, maybe I have to become a dog or a cat or a horse or something else. But let us understand the concept, very basic understanding. As is the seed, so is the tree. If I sow the seed of an apple, it is going to grow into an apple tree and it's going to give me only apple. You cannot get anything else from that tree if you are sowing the seed of an apple. So same way, soul is also like a seed, because seed is such a small thing. But we can't imagine, if somebody doesn't have the knowledge, they can't imagine that in this small seed, there is so much inside that you sow the seed and it becomes such a huge tree and it's providing so many fruits and flowers and other things. We can't imagine if we don't know. So this is knowledge. So that seed, if it is apple seed, because just now we were talking about apple seed. So if it is apple seed, then this little seed has the essence, all the qualities of an apple. It already has. You see, in the same soil, if I sow the seed of a mango, same soil, same environment, everything is same, but that one will give mango. Because seed in itself consists of the essence, the traits of an apple, this one. So same way, we have already understood that soul is the living energy, and soul consists of mind, intellect, sanskars. As a human soul, if I look at myself, even if we see some people, and people would compare them with some animal sometime, their some personality traits are like that, some nature is like that, and they will say that maybe this person was an animal, was a dog in the past life, or he's going to become one in the future. So this is how sometimes we relate. But we need to understand, soul is like a seed. Soul has the basic traits. If it is a human soul, it has the basic trait of being a human. Now coming back to that apple seed. It is apple seed. I once sow it into the soil. The soil quality, if it is very good, I sustain it very well. I water it properly. I give it the proper environment to grow. Then it will grow into a very good quality tree and I will get good quality apples from that one. But if I don't sustain it, I don't take care of that plant properly, then it will become banana or it will become grapes. It will still remain apple, right? Even if I don't take care of that tree very well, even if the environment is not so good, the quality of apple will reduce. It will become a very low quality apple, but it will still remain an apple. This is the point to be understood. When we are talking about the human soul, and we say, and we have heard it many times, that if I do bad karma, if I do something bad, I hurt someone. Even some people used to say, when we were also very small, we used to hear this often, that if you kill this insect, you will become the insect in the next life, and that insect will become a human and he will also kill you. So this is how you have to see the consequences. You have to face the consequences of what you do now. So this was a very easy way to explain to a child. I would feel that yes, this is easy to understand, that I should not do something bad, I should not hurt anyone, I should not kill any animals or insects. So it's good. This concept is clear, that I should not do bad, because what I give, I will get. But I will become an insect. That was very scary for me. I don't want to become an insect, and I don't want to become an animal either. So this is something which is questionable, and that was always scary for me. No matter how beautiful, there are different kinds of animals and different species on this planet. There are nice fishes, there are so many beautiful birds. No matter, I enjoy looking at them, but I personally don't want to become them. So that was my fear, and maybe other people also might have this kind of fear, that if I do this, I have to become like that. So here in this spiritual knowledge, we got a lot of clarity about this, because human soul is also like a seed, just like this apple seed. So the good news which I wanted to share with all of you is that human souls take rebirth as humans only, and they never go into any other species. So human soul will only become human. Actually, for some people, it might be a little bit difficult to accept that, because we've always heard about going into other species and becoming animal or insect or something else. But this theory is very much logical. That was also logical. People who have written that in our mythology, that you have to become like an animal, they were also very logical, and they were very far-sighted. They knew that these human beings in future, when the Kali comes, what kind of karma they are going to do, what kind of intellect they are going to have. So warn them in advance, so that they don't deplete their energy so much, they don't go to such a low level that they perform such bad karma. So to warn them and to restrict them from performing such bad karma, these things were written in a very symbolic way. Even now, when you see someone, suppose there is a beggar on the street and is really in a very, very worse condition of living, roadside, they don't even have a shelter on their head, no proper food to eat. Sometimes when we look at them, we feel that this life is just like animals, but not animal. So if this is a very important thing to understand, when it was written in our mythology, that was mentioned in a very symbolic way. Metaphors were used to explain the things to us, and we were being warned that if you do this kind of karma, you have to live a life like an animal. It's not that you will become an animal. And just think about it. If we take it as a prize and punishment law, if you do good, according to the mythology, sometimes if you do very, very good karma, then only there is a chance that you can become a human being again. And if something little also, the flaw remains, the weakness remains, then you cannot become human being. You have to come into the cycle of 84 lakhs of species, pass through all that, and then only you can come back to the human life again. So this becomes like a reward, like award. Becoming a human being becomes like a prize. And becoming animal, because when you give the theory like this, then becoming an animal is like a punishment, and becoming a human being is like a reward. Now just think about one person, one small child, a baby who's just now born and is handicapped, or he has some other issues in the body, or is born in such a family where he cannot even get bread and butter. He is born on the roadside, or from birth only his parents has abandoned him. He's an orphan, just born. Think about this soul, just born, and born as a human being. What would we say if we see this kind of story of someone? What will we feel? What's your feeling looking at this baby? You will say past karma, right? Everyone will say the same thing. Maybe some past karma. Because of course, in this life, he has not yet started his karma. He has not yet started his journey. Then why he has become like this? Why this kind of life? Some kids are even found in the rubbish bin. So this is not this life's karma, definitely. So this is past life karma. And surely it is a bad karma. It's the result of a bad karma, right? Then my question is, if it was a bad karma, then why he could become a human being? If we look at that mythology, that philosophy, then he should be becoming an animal or an insect. Now this baby found in the rubbish bin, is it not like an insect? Even if he is in the human body, but he is getting the punishment just like being an insect. So this is actually a very symbolic message that was given when they said that you have to become an animal. The reality is that human soul will become a human being only, but he has to live like an animal, live like an insect, being in human body also. And just think about it, that is a bigger punishment if living in human body and I'm living like an animal. Becoming an animal and living with animals is not, doesn't seem like a punishment. If someone becomes a cat and living with the family of cats, there is no realization. Do you think there will be any realization to that cat that why I have become a cat? No, I don't think so. They are enjoying because they are surrounded by similar cats only. But if one person is becoming a human and then looking at other human beings, they are so fortunate, they are so lucky, they have so much, and why I don't have all those privileges what they have, then he will definitely think at some point of time he will have these thoughts that why my life is like this. And this thought is the beginning of realization. This realization is the experience of punishment. So this is punishment. Becoming a human being and living like animal is a punishment rather than becoming an animal and living like animals. That's easy. That's acceptable. So actually that was the point. So that's why I wanted to share this good news with all of you, that you're not going to become any animal or any insect. We all will reincarnate into human being only. But it becomes actually more responsibility comes on us. Of course, we don't want to live like an animal also being in a human body. So we will pay more attention to our karmas. And there are some evidences also. Now, these things have been proved as well. Rebirth evidences. Child prodigy. It's like we sometimes we hear and we see the news about the wonder kids or some geniuses. And when we see them, we feel surprised, we feel amazed. It's like miracles happening that at such a young age, they are so much skilled, and at such a young age, they are achieving so much. And when you see family background, also sometimes you will be surprised that nobody is teaching them from where this soul is, this child is so talented. So this proves that there is some past life sanskar which the soul is carrying in that particular subject, in that particular art. That child has worked hard so much in the past life, and it has achieved that stage in the past life that it goes with the soul as a sanskar, as a impression on the soul even to the next life. So this is one evidence. Then second is past life regressions. Have you heard about past life regressions, PLRs? Nowadays many people go for PLR because they want to see their past life, and many have done that also. I will not go into too much detail of this. You can search it, you can study it by yourself also, because it is about going and seeing your past life. And people have experienced, in some cases, even their 5 lives, 10 past lives, like that. And the interesting thing is that in any one case, any one of them in any of the lives was not an animal. They all were human beings. When they go, they hypnotize, they hypnotize them and take them slowly backwards. Because soul is eternal, we have understood soul is imperishable. It's just changing the costume. So they take them into the past, and then further, if they want to go further in the previous lives and they want to see what they have done, some people have this thought that why my present life is like that, and I want to see the reason of my past lives. So they also, for various reasons, sometimes for healing some diseases, some sicknesses which even doctors were not able to diagnose and identify the reasons, and it was rooted in their past life, some incident, some accident, or some happening of their past life that has actually gone very deep into the subconscious. That pain is still there. So there were so many situations like that, but I'm just focusing on one point right now, that in any of these cases of PLR study, in any of their past lives, no one was an animal or any other species. They all were speaking human language, because when they go to their past life, they speak, and some of them were speaking French or some other language, but it was a human language. It was not a language of any animal. So this thing has answered the question of human beings, that what I was in the past life. And past life memories as well. We've heard about the stories of some children who remember their past life. Sometimes they relate, they tell the whole story of their past life, that I was there, this is my name, these are my children, my family, my wife. This little child of 5 years, he's telling about his wife and his children, and some kids were taken practically to that place to see them, to meet them, and after going them, he tells that this thing I forgot to tell you, and this was very important. Something like that was there, which was unfinished, and he finishes that task. He tells them that these papers are here in this place, and it has also happened that after that they just forget. There is no memory anymore. No matter what reason was there, but this also shows that human soul only takes rebirth into a human life, not in any other species. I hope this is clear. And now comes a very, very important next concept. Let us now go towards the concept of time cycle, Kal Chakra, time cycle. Many times we have this question when we see this planet, we see the world around us. We have the question that when did it start? When it was created? And until when it's going to remain like this? So when we say that when was it started and when will it end? Something like that, this question. So when we have this question, we are kind of thinking time in a linear way, that it started here and it will end here. This is the beginning, this is the end. But we want to clarify one very important concept about time, that time is not linear, it is cyclic, and there are so many evidences of that. Anything what we see, any kind of energy or matter, whatever we see with these eyes, actually everything is going through the process in a cyclic manner. So let us have a look at this. So it is not linear, it is cyclic. Like we see so many cycles, like day and night cycle. There is morning, afternoon, evening, then night, and after night. No matter how dark it is, it's going to be followed by a next morning. Seasons cycle. In our lifetime, every year we see this cycle of all the seasons, weathers are changing, season is changing, and here comes the summer again. Now we are entering into summers again. So this is also cyclic, and we know that after this, monsoons will come. We know that after that, what will happen. So same way, water cycle. We know, we have studied in the primary section only, that how this is happening. So actually everything is happening in a cyclic manner. Same way, these are the cycles that we can easily accept, because 24 hours day and night cycle, it's too small. Every day we see that, so we have the understanding that after night there will be morning. We know that. Same way, water cycle, we have studied and we see with our own eyes. We can understand, we can experiment. So easy to understand. Season cycle, it's only 1 year. In 1 year's time, again we see the same season, and many times we have seen, we have the experience in this life. But now when we are talking about in an unlimited way, this whole world drama cycle, then we don't know, because our lifespan is maybe 80, 90, 100 years. And in that time period, I cannot see the cyclic pattern of the whole world drama. What's going on? How is going on? So let us see this whole, in the beginning, you have seen that video also. That is explaining the cycle of 5,000 years. So this is, one word is important, eternal time cycle. This is the eternal time cycle. One full cycle is known as kalpa. Like one 24-hour cycle is known as one day. It will change into another day of the calendar when we wake up in the morning. Same way, 7 days cycle is called 1 week. 30 days is 1 month, and 12 months is 1 year. 10 years is 1 decade, and 100 years is century. So same way, 5,000 years of one cycle is called one kalpa. And this one kalpa is divided into 4 parts. You can see here, and in the middle you also see the sign of swastika, and those who are from India, they are very much familiar with this sign of swastika, which is shown in the center. And you see how this cycle is moving. There are 4 ages. It is divided into 4 ages, 4 equal parts: Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, and Kali Yug. And we can also call it Golden Age, Silver Age, Copper Age, and Iron Age. And you can also see the movement in a cyclic manner, so now we see this meaning of this sign of swastika. We have heard this word. This is a Sanskrit word, swastik. And swastik means, it is the symbol of swasthiti, means the stage of my inner being, and how the inner being, which is the soul and also the matter, everything in this world is passing through these different stages. My stage is not the same forever. It's passing through different stages. So this swastik represents the different stages of the soul in the time cycle. We've understood that soul is going through the process of reincarnation and rebirth. We have understood that. We have understood that soul is eternal. Now let us look deeply into this thing, because when we are talking about time cycle, time is moving, but there is something which is always there. And what is that which is always there? There are 3 things. One is God, the Supreme, who is eternal. Second, the soul. I, the soul, all of us, the point of energy, the life energy, is also eternal. And the third is this nature. Because for that, science is also saying, because matter was never created. It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. We know that. So it already there. It will be there always, forever. So that is also eternal. It's just changing forms. Now, out of these 3 things, soul and the matter, 5 elements of nature and the soul, we are coming into this process of reincarnation and coming into this cycle of change. So we are constantly changing. But God, who is the supreme, who is the highest, who is actually beyond this drama, so he is always the same. We call him ocean of knowledge, ocean of love, ocean of peace. He's always the ocean. But what is happening with us in this time cycle? We will have a look at that. So we have seen this swastik. Now let us see in these 4 ages. Look at this swastik. Top right is the golden age. It represents the golden age of the cycle. As we said that it is divided into 4 equal parts. So each each age is 1250 years. So the first quadrant, what we see here, it represents Satyug or the golden age, where there is 100% health, wealth, and happiness. Because of course it is the beginning of the cycle. And when it is beginning, it's like anything in the beginning is new, fresh. So all kinds of energies we see in their highest frequency. So in that highest frequency, physically also we are healthy, wealthy, happy. Mentally also we are peaceful. We don't have any problems called tensions, worries, what we see here. Because complete, this is what we all are seeking for, what we all are looking for, because this world was like that before. But there is the law of nature is that everything has to pass through the process of change. Change is the law of nature. So we all go through this process of change. Now you can think about it that when it was 100% pure and it has to go towards the process of change, which direction the change will happen? It cannot be 120%. It's already 100%. So of course there will be downfall. So in Satyug it was full, it was complete, and it's like blessed. So this is the stage of Satyug, the golden age. Duration is 1250 years. Nature is pure. Human souls are pure. Human beings' actions are pure. Everything, purity in its highest form. So that is also called heaven or paradise on this earth. And then change, the process of change begins, and we gradually enter into the second phase or the second age, which is called the silver age or Treta Yuga. And here you see from 100%, but the change is happening very gradually, very slowly. You see, it took 1250 years from 100% to 75%. So slowly downfall is happening. And you see here comes the silver age. And silver age is also good because only 25% has reduced if you see the purity, the stage of purity. But it's not much visible. It's like you were so pure, the soul was so pure that a little bit reduce in the quality, in the purity level, not much visible. So still this world is known as paradise or heaven on this earth. And that is the time period when the human beings are like deities. They are also human beings. And right now when we are remembering them, we remember them as Devi Devta, as gods and goddesses. Sometimes we are worshipping them in the temples. Why we are worshipping them? Because they are physically also pure, they are mentally also pure. The soul is so pure that if we compare ourselves, our present stage with theirs, we will feel that they are worthy of worshipping for us. And for ourselves, we can see that we have so many weaknesses, so many negativities inside. So that is how we are remembering those human beings. They were also human beings, but they were human beings with divine virtues, with divine qualities, with the highest level of purity. And that is how they are being worshipped. That is why they are being worshipped. So this was about golden age and silver age. Now after that we enter into Dwapar Yug, copper age, and it is a left side turn. You see, that was the right side part of the cycle, and in that also Satyug is right direction, the top right. It also symbolizes righteousness, righteousness in our actions, in our thoughts, in our words. So that's why that is the time of perfection. Now here comes the left side turn in this swastik, in the cycle. And left side also means opposite direction. So from righteousness, we turn towards unrighteousness. Before that, the downfall was happening, but very gradually. So it was still okay until the end of Treta Yuga, until the end of Silver Age. It was still fine. But as soon as it takes a left turn, because when half empty, after that, we feel the emptiness. And when we feel the emptiness, we start worshipping, we start invoking God, we calling out God, because we start realizing the darkness inside, because 50% purity is gone. So after 50% is gone, then we realize that we are lacking something. And that 50% which is gone, if 50% light is gone, it is then darkness is taking place. And darkness is of vices, of evils, of negativities, of my weaknesses. These 5 vices of anger, lust, attachment, ego, all these things have started coming in. And we started experiencing pain. We started experiencing sorrow inside. And it's only when we experience sorrow, we experience pain, then we start remembering God. Interesting thing is, in Satyug and Treta Yuga, in the golden age and the silver age, we don't even remember God. It's like when the child is happy playing outside with friends, very happy, everything is fine. That time he won't remember the parents, he won't remember mommy or papa. It's only when something wrong happens, when friends are cheating him or beating him or doing something wrong, that time he remembers the parents. Same thing happens with all of us. We also, when everything was fine, this world was actually, he created this world, this beautiful world for us to play, to enjoy. And until we were enjoying, when we were pure, of course, there were no differences, there were no difference of opinions, there is no impurity. So we were enjoying playing on this stage. So we don't even remember him. So it is in Dwapar Yuga when we started calling out to God. Time period is same, 1250 years. Now comes the darkest period of this cycle, that is Iron Age, Kali Yuga. We can understand where are we in this cycle right now. So this is the age of complete impurity. The 5 vices that had started in Copper Age, they started developing. Although we were experiencing pain from that, but we started justifying also these 5 vices, that without this, we can't do anything because we don't know and we don't have the strength. We've already lost 50% of our strength coming down in this cycle. So when the soul is weak, it starts justifying the weaknesses, it starts justifying the impurities inside. And that is what happened with all of us. Even if we were realizing that these vices are not good for us, that is why it is written in the scriptures. It's mentioned in each and every religion, each and every scripture, these 5 vices of lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego. This is not good for a human being. We all know that, but still we were justifying, still we were using it as a tool to accomplish our task. And that is why these vices completely take over us. And that's how we enter into Iron Age Kali Yuga. And we know what is happening around us right now. All kinds of negativities, wars, even natural calamities. People are suffering with depression, insecurity, tension, you name any kind of problem, everything a soul is experiencing right now. And this is what is happening in this Kali Yuga. Now, what next? We said that this is a cycle of 5,000 years. What next? Ideally, according to the knowledge which we are receiving, that this is a cycle of 5,000 years, and because this is ongoing process, it is a continuous process of repetition of this cycle. So ideally, after this Kali Yuga, Satyug should come. It should be followed by the Iron Age, should be followed by the Golden Age. But how? Is that so easy? How do you feel about it? Is it so easy that in this extreme negativity, extreme darkness, can we imagine suddenly Satyug or Golden Age coming? No. There is a process. Now here you can see from Iron Age to Golden Age, to bring this shift, in between there is a small, this white color you see here. So this is a short phase of transition, of transformation, which is called Confluence Age or Sangam Yug. This is the time of transition from Iron Age to Golden Age, from extreme darkness to extreme light. And this is the time when God Himself has to interfere. He created a beautiful land for us. He created a beautiful planet Earth for us and gave us all the facilities, beautiful, pure nature, perfect bodies, pure mind. He sent us onto this planet, taking care of each and everything for His children, that they should not experience any kind of sorrow or any kind of something lacking. There was nothing lacking there. And what have we done? He gifted us with this paradise, with this heaven on earth. What have we done? Starting from that beautiful period of Golden Age, we have slowly, gradually fallen into this Iron Age now. Fallen down so much that we are not able to get up by ourselves. Now, of course, we need some external strength. We need a support because soul has become quite weak. So how it will happen now? This is where God's role begins. Because He will interfere where we can't do anything. Human beings are trying. Governments are trying. United Nations is trying, bringing everyone together to bring harmony and peace in the world. But it's not happening. It's becoming worse and worse and worse. Because now it's not going to happen only with human power. Because human soul has become so weak. So right now, this is the time when God Himself has to descend on this earth, on this planet. So this, if you can understand a little bit, this is called Kalyankari Purushottam Sangam Yuga, which means this is the time when Purushottam means when we become elevated from the lowest to the highest. Shift. This is the time of shift. And this is the beneficial time, the most beneficial time in the cycle. If golden age, Satyug is golden age, then this Sangam Yug is diamond age, because this is the time when we can transform from extreme negative to extreme positive, to a perfect and divine human being once again, with the power of Almighty. So this is the time when he comes. He has to come to see that now I have to interfere, now I have to go and see my children. I've been giving signals for a very long time, but they are not understanding. So this is the time. Finally, he decides that I have to do something now. And we will understand it more clearly in the next 3 days. God's role at present time. Although we see many gurus, many messengers, many masters, religious and spiritual masters, reformers, they have tried their best to remove the darkness, to bring in the positivity, to bring in the light in this world. But we see practically what is the situation of the world. So how God himself comes on this planet, we will understand that also. And one more very important point to be understood, we have already discussed about that human soul is only going to become a human being, and we are not going to become any animal or anything else in the next life. But as a human being also, how many births we have to take? Yesterday also somebody was asking this question, how many births I need to take, and finally when can I be free from this cycle of reincarnation or cycle of rebirth, and how can I get liberation? What is liberation? What is liberation in life? All this mukti and jivan mukti, all these concepts in the next 3 days we are going to discuss. So I request all of you and I suggest all of you that don't miss next 3 days lesson. Most of you I see are very regular and you are not missing any session. So these next 3 days also stay with us. And after this, then you will actually feel that you have entered into a new spiritual dimension. Because these were the questions of the human mind, human soul for thousands of years. And now this clarity is being given by God himself. It's not the knowledge of any ordinary human being or any guru or any master. It's not based on any particular scripture. You will also understand what is the origin of this knowledge, how we know the answers. Sometimes you might have this question in the mind that how they are so clear about all these concepts. So who is our teacher? You see so many Brahma Kumari sisters and brothers. Who is our teacher? Who is teaching us? So all these things you will understand very nicely. So just stay with us for the next few days as well. And even after that, we would love to have all of you with us on this spiritual journey, because this spiritual study is such that it never ends actually. We have been studying from so many years. There are those who have been studying for more than 80 years. Some are studying for 50 years, 20 years, 10 years, whenever they have started. But it always seems like we want to know more. The more you have that you are seeking attitude, your student life, it becomes like a very interesting going back to the student life once again and being a student until the end of this life. So that will become even more interesting. So journey, this is just the beginning of the journey, not the end. So just stay with us. So let us have few minutes of reflection. Om Shanti. I relax myself, taking a deep breath in and letting it out. In this moment of silence, I realize I, the soul, the shining star, in the costume of this body, and before this costume, I have taken many other costumes, changing from one life to another and then to the next one. I have played many different roles on this planet, in this world drama. Now, right now, when this world is going through the darkest period of Kali Yuga, of Iron Age, I begin my spiritual journey and I enter into the confluence age, Sangam Yuga. I realize my true self. I connect with God and I start this journey of transformation. It's a great pleasure. That out of so many of this world, when the whole world is busy, I have got this realization to be on this beautiful spiritual journey. In my heart, I have the feelings of gratitude for God. I appreciate my fortune. I am a lucky soul, a lucky star. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Didi. Thank you so much. Before moving towards the question and answer session, there's a small announcement to make. Can I make this announcement? Yeah. So, to all those who listened to or attended this course through either Zoom or YouTube, kindly send us your details below on the WhatsApp number. You must be having a WhatsApp group. If you don't have it, in that case, the number is 9953019549. This message is already circulated in the WhatsApp group, so kindly respond to it and do the needful. So, to the question answer session. The first question for the day is, what's the difference between human and animal soul? Do plants have soul? They also grow, right? So this is the first question.
What is the difference between a human soul and the animal soul? What is the difference between an apple and a mango? Mango is mango and apple is apple. Both have seeds, but it has its own traits, it has its own quality. So same way, human soul is human soul and animal soul. Animal also, each animal, each species is having its own kind of seed, own kind of soul. Because like if you see a tiger, it has a soul, but it has the sanskars of being a tiger to behave like that. If you see a mouse, it has its own kind of traits, its own kind of personality. Suppose, just imagine if that mouse is made into, reincarnated into a tiger in the next life. What will happen? Will he be able to, just because now we realize that I am the soul and this body is just a costume. So the soul of the mouse, if just imagine, is wearing the costume of a tiger, how will he behave? He doesn't even know how to walk. He doesn't even know how to respond to the situations. He will be scared of the cat if when he looks at the cat, being a tiger, because tiger outside is only the costume, but inside the soul is carrying the personality trait of that. So when we say the difference, I think we don't have to go into the details of that, because each one is important and they are playing their own role. I think there is no comparison in that. It's just different and unique. Every soul is unique. Is that okay?
Yeah. The next question is, hundreds of thousands of years old bones, stones, objects have been found in history through excavation. So what about the carbon dating and Darwin's theory?
Actually, Darwin's theory now already has been challenged by many. And even in some countries, they have taken it out from the syllabus of school students, if you're aware of that. Because there were many loopholes in that which was not proved. And somehow, to a greater extent, it has already been proved that man was never an ape, and it was actually not a right explanation. It was only, you see, when you study any theory, it is based on some assumptions, right? So Darwin has also assumed certain things before starting the theory. When you study, what are the assumptions? And if those assumptions were not right, which has been proved actually, that means the whole theory goes wrong. And otherwise also, if you see, if the process of evolution was like that, then now all apes would have converted into human beings by now, but it has not happened. Second thing was about carbon dating. That is also challenged. Why? Because in some cases it was experimented that the same fossil was taken and same sample is experimented by two different people or the scientists, and they give different age of that fossil. And the difference was not few hundred years or few thousand years. It was a very big difference. So there was a whole research done on that. So nothing is so sure. It's like all these theories were given because human being has always been experimenting with things, and they're trying to research, trying to discover the truth about life. And everyone has their own way of researching. Sometimes when I look at this and how I feel, I just want to share with you, because the reason of all this research was that we wanted to go to the roots, that how it started, when it started, and human brain, human intellect with all its limitations, but still feeling that we are intelligent. With their limited intellect, they are trying to discover, and then they give their concepts and theories, and after some time other one comes and they challenge it. But the basically research was about the truth of life. Research was about this discovery of how it started. And here comes the truth. When only the one who has created, if he can come and tell that this is the truth, that would be the best, right? And that happens at the conference age, when we get the answers of all these questions, accurate answers.
Yeah, Didi, so the next question is how many years back the civilization began? This 5,000 years, if this 5,000 year cycle repeats, how do we believe that?
Yes, it repeats, just like how you believe that after night there will be next morning. How do you believe? It's easier for you because it's 24 hours and you see it every day. But 5,000 is bigger time period, and we don't see with our eyes, cannot see, because this costume changes so many times in this 5,000 years time. So one thing is that there is a law of nature when we talk about change. When it was 100% pure, then it started gradually going down, and then there is a momentum set, because it started downward trend started, so then it goes into that direction until it reaches the extreme, and after the extreme again it has to take a transformation. So this is the law of entropy actually applies here. What was another question? How we believe that it repeats? It is very natural process, just like any other cycle. Yeah.
That 5,000 years repeats.
Yeah, I think it's clear. It's the law of entropy.
So next question is, what's the difference between religion and spirituality?
Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes, Didi, we
Yeah,
can hear you.
yeah. Okay. So what is the difference between religion and spirituality? Actually, in Hindi, I would explain in a little different way. In Hindi, religion means dharma. And when we say dharma, dharma means the originality. The original state of being is dharma. To establish myself, to set myself once again in my originality is called dharma. So actually, when any religion was started, it was started with that intention of bringing us back to our originality. But now there are another forms of that. We go into other details of external rituals and the way of behaviors, the way of dressing up, and there are many other external things. When we start focusing on that, then again we lost the way to go back to the originality. So here comes the role of spirituality. Spirituality is a study of the spirit. simply study of my original self, because I am the spirit, the soul. So studying the understanding the originality of the spirit is spirituality. Going back to the roots is spirituality. But in day after tomorrow's lesson, we will talk about the concept of religion and spirituality, and how go back to the original religion of the soul. In here, what we believe is that original religion of the soul is the original 7 virtues of the soul: peace, happiness, love, bliss. This is my religion basically. All other religions are bodily religions. They were created for this purpose only, to bring us back to this originality. But now that original concept is somehow disappeared, and we're just into the labels of the religions. That's why right now there are so many misconceptions and misunderstandings.
Wonderful explanation, Devi. Moving next question.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Okay, I'm repeating. How can we know how many births we have taken?
Hmm. You will get the answer tomorrow for this question. How many births we have taken, how many maximum birth a human soul can take, and then liberation also, we will talk about that.
Okay, Didi. Next question is related to previous question. Didi, curious to know remaining years of Kali Yuga means, and when is the Sangam time going to get over?
Hmm. Yeah, not much time is left, because the clock we showed you, that clock was made already. It's been 85 years when this picture was created through the divine visions. So you can see, let's have this look again on this. So this was 5,000 years cycle. Here you see, if it is a 5,000 years whole cycle, what do you think? You can see 2 hands of this clock. It shows it's almost 12. It's like it's going to be 12 any moment. Means the cycle is going to be over any moment. But according to 5,000 years, if you calculate, what does it look like? How long it's going to take? It's not much, right? And if suppose it is about 100 years, and out of that 85 years already gone. But one more, very sincerely, if we take it, even if we calculate that way, suppose it's 100 and out of that 85 is gone and 15 years left, for example, estimate. I'm not saying is exactly, but in that 15 years also, even if there are 15 years, how long I am going to live? Am I sure? So I would say, as a sincere student, I will not think about that how long this Kali Yuga is going to take to end, but I will prepare myself well in advance. As soon as today I have realized that now the confluence age has started. Do you believe that you have entered into the confluence age? Because not everyone can enter into the confluence age. The souls, only those souls who have this realization that we want to now transform ourselves and we want to prepare for the next coming age, which is the golden age, only those souls with this realization and who have started their journey of transformation, they are in the confluence age. I believe that all of you have already entered into this new age, confluence age. So right now our aim should be not calculating the time, but being ready before time as a good student. Is that okay? That answer is
Definitely, Didi.
satisfactory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Didi, next question is, I think it's quite lengthy question. I'll try to split this. If God wants us to move from the state of body consciousness to soul consciousness, a state where we are detached from relations and pleasures, etc., why did he create all these relationships? This is the first part of question. Um, can I say another part too? Okay,
Okay.
so the second part of question is, and how we are supposed to love and care, but not get attached, because people, people think without attachment there is no love.
So the first thing is when we say that why God has created all these relations. Actually, He just sent us here on this planet to play our parts. It was like a role. He didn't ask us to create relationships here. We have created it because we didn't get it right. In the beginning it was fine, but later on we start getting attached here only. When he had sent us to onto this planet, he told us that you have all your relationships with me. There you are going just to play different roles. That is a role, not a relation. When you are playing the role, suppose an actor is playing a role in a movie, he knows this is my role. While playing the role, he plays the role perfectly. He's completely into that. But inside, subconscious, all the time he knows that I'm not this and this is not the true relation. But here we make the mistake when we become body conscious, we forget ourselves, we forget our home, and then we start feeling that these are my people, my relations, my close relatives. We started believing that, and because of that we feel pain. And now God comes and tells us, I have come here to liberate you from the pain. So listen to me, become soul conscious again. Now the second part is also the answer is same for second part of your question, becoming soul conscious, not role conscious. Then I can be loving and caring also. I don't know if you have visited any of the centers or Mount Abu. Right now there is no chance to visit, but in future, whenever you get the chance, when you reach there, you will feel like sometimes, most of the times, the brothers and sisters there, they will not even ask your name. They don't even know from where you have come, but you will feel so much love and care and so much of sense of belongingness. Why? Because all of them, they know that we all are children of one God. So it becomes very natural. It's not like I have to do it like my duty. You will experience that real spiritual love, which is much more higher than this love, so called love, which is actually attachment, so called care, which is actually full of expectations of return. So you will when you go beyond this, you become detached, you become more loving. In Hindi, we call it nyara and pyara. The more detached you are, more loving you become. You will understand it more when you experiment it in your life, you experience it more.
Thank you, Didi. Didi, now this is the last question. You spoke on past regression done by some. How can we know the geniusness of that who is helping on these if in this lots of mistakes done? Can we fix it from not getting to suffer, not getting to?
I couldn't get it. I couldn't hear. There is, I think. Can you repeat it? Past life regression, you said after that?
Yes, yes, Didi. This question is about past life regression. So it's yeah. Hello.
Your voice is lost in between. Yes, now I can hear.
Didi? Yeah, what she was trying to ask was, the question is like this. Didi, you spoke on past life regression done by Sun. How can we know the geniusness of that who is helping on these? Maybe the one who is doing the past life regression is what must he. Suppose lots of mistakes done, can you fix it? Can you fix it from not getting to sufferings? Can you fix your mistakes by not suffering?
Actually, I'm not very clear, but what I have understood is means when you get to know your past and you understand that you have made some mistakes in the past, can we fix it now? Something like that.
The question is like that. So what I am assuming is he must have meant like that. Can we the mistakes that we did?
Yeah, one thing I want to add first before replying your question is that if you ask me, I will not recommend you to go for PLR, to go for past life regression. I don't recommend anyone to do that because it's not a natural practice. Natural is that we don't remember our past lives. But with the understanding of spiritual knowledge, we know that yes, whatever I have done, according to that, I will get the result in this life. So we don't need to be very specifically clear about what kind of actions I have performed in the past, but I can be careful of my actions in the present. I think it is as simple as that. For me, karma philosophy and rectifying the mistakes, fixing my mistakes, is only about fixing it in the present moment. What I have done is done, but that can be released, that can be cleansed with meditation, and also change my negative sanskars so that don't replay again.
Okay, Didi, that was the last question for the day. Thank you so much for this wonderful knowledge that you're sharing with us for the past few days. And I hope that this will continue for a few more days too. Before leaving, I would like to make the announcement once again to all those who listen to this course or attended this through Zoom or via YouTube. Please send us the details to the WhatsApp number. If you don't have the number, please note this down. The number is 9953019549. Once again, the WhatsApp number is 9953019549. So the details that we want is your name, country, age, WhatsApp number with country codes, etc. Okay, thank you, Didi. Thanks a lot.
I would like to add a little bit, just everyone, because the sister just now was announcing about the details. This is actually important because if you are filling up, it's also along with your feedback. What is your feeling? Because we would like to have follow-up sessions in future also. And please do mention your country and city as well, because some people are joining from different time zones. So in future, we might have various sessions, which is very, very interesting and very important for all of you. So if you are sincerely interested in studying this, please do that. Okay. Don't miss filling up this information form. Thank you.
Thank you, Didi. Thanks to all.